Hello guys, this is Andrei, a certified translator and a real estate concierge. We are relocating people to Belarus over the last 4 years quite successfully. This clip is about the local and global things that may or may not affect Belarus at some point, that may or may not help you to tailor your trip down here, either to look around or to settle for a longer period. Traveling options to Belarus are still quite limited. If you mean European flights, they do not exist. If you take a bus from Vilnius or from Warsaw, or flights through very few countries that you can track through the andrei.burdenkov arrivals of the Minsk National Airport, the geography isn't really that limited. It's a bit challenging, but not too limited. The visa options are multiple. You can get the electronic visa, you can get the offline visa, you can come visa-free depending on your purpose and of course on your passport. It's much easier if you are coming from the west, and it's not so easy if you're coming from the east again, or southeast, depending on which country that is. So the country isn't quite locked. One of the few issues that you have to deal with is the warnings of your government travel advice website to not travel to Belarus because it's a dangerous place and everything. But even Americans are traveling lately without a problem, so I wouldn't say there are any extra treatment measures against the unfriendly nations. I don't even hear such a term being used in the circle where I am, in the immigration and border control fields. So traveling barriers are mostly in your mind and in your budget. It's not a problem to use your card here. I've had several instances. I had Americans with cards working all the way through. I had guys from Asia whose cards were not working at all. So cash is really helpful. Have a look at the travel tips in the video description. There's a link about the best things to mind when you're planning a trip here. Let's get started with the local headlines. A little bit of international stuff first. One of the world's most famous universities has got a ban from the government to accept foreign students. Foreign students are always a handsome bit, especially when it comes to information and culture exchange and everything. But over here in Belarus, the foreigners are quite welcome to get their tuition, especially those willing to learn Russian, which may or may not become a handy language for European communication. My company is undergoing certification with one of the universities to become a visa support agency for that university. This will be announced further. So one of the things which is quite obvious, at least to me, this is my personal opinion, and tell me if you disagree with that, if a student comes somewhere to a different country to study, you don't expect him to be on the streets and shouting or declaring some political slogans or declarations. His rights are quite limited by the rights of the locals who are local to this country and who actually are citizens and who can press their point in the legal frame. While several universities in Minsk are majoring in offering Russian language courses to foreign students, we noticed that their communication with the potential applicants, clients, is rather poor. So as much as we were happy to just refer people to deal with the universities directly, now we will be offering visa support services and accommodation and such like immigration assistance services to such people. So wait for a dedicated video, and questions will be very, very welcome. As I just mentioned, cash is really important if you want to have some travel flexibility, because your plastic card may simply become plastic card once you cross the border here. Mostly not because of the local shops or merchants, but because of your bank settings and how they read Trump's sanction lists. So it's important to have cash, but it's also important to have cash in mint condition, like Myanmar quality, as some of my well-experienced Americans used to tell me years ago when I was a tour guide. The banknotes have to come without damage, without any stains, without any mold, which you can only see in the ultraviolet lamp. So it's a bit of a challenge. So make sure you get some crisp bills, and 20s, 50s, 100s, whatever, covering your accommodation in case something doesn't go through, and covering your daily expenses and a return ticket when and if you're planning to go to Belarus. It has become a bit of a challenge because people buying a property are confronted with larger amounts of money, so it's not impossible to deal with this. It's just a little extra challenge. And it's important to do your homework. It's kind of funny as well, except it's not, of course, that with all the unified standards of acceptance of the bills, which are slightly damaged and slightly worn out, the banks still give you a whole lottery of, no, we don't want this bill. Oh, I don't see any problems about this bill. So just across the street, the two banks may get a very opposite view on the bills that you have, and are trying to change into rubles. There's no problem in changing rubles back into dollars or euro if you're leaving with some money left unspent, so it's not a problem. A quick note continuing the bank subject. Belarusbank, one of the major banks in the country, if not the largest one, has introduced commissions to open accounts for the foreigners. It seems the commission is going to be 200 rubles. I was under impression that each bank now actually charges some $100 commission to open accounts with a foreigner. You have to be careful if you only need an account for the money transfer, and it's basically impossible to transfer dollars here by far, because of your sending bank, not because of the local banks not accepting it or something. You really have to be very careful and very meticulous asking the operators which way you should go, what product you should pick, how can you avoid commissions, and what functionality exactly you expect from the account before you spend any money. So that helps to clarify things. By far, the only and the best working app for me is the Alpha Bank app. Unfortunately, it's not a commercial, it's just the way it is. And using a couple of keywords, you can bring up almost any payment template for gas, electricity, for speed fines, for whatever stuff. Really handy. Today, on Saturday, 24th of May, the graduation parties are going to rock through the country. It's going to be a heartbreaking day for all the adults who wish to have a Saturday drink, because traditionally and rather unwisely, the government introduces bans to sell alcohol this day. So the alcohol departments will be covered with some black plastic, and there won't be any sales until midnight, when the wonderful school kids are happily and drunkenly sleeping in their flats and respective houses. Based on experience, all the, let's say, underage youths who are graduating from school already have their reserved stock-ups, and they are not really affected by this ban as much as the adults wishing to have a good weekend are. Generally, I do not believe in the merits of the booze. It's much better to have some cool green tea and a nice round of fitness, and that would be much more beneficial to one's health than all this stuff with drinking and smoking and all the other unhealthy crap. So I'm quite against that stuff. The food market offers some challenges as well. Potato seems to be in short supply, and the fresh new harvest of potato is going to bring the prices down a little bit. In a few minutes, I'll try to visit the Komarovsky food market with a coverage of the recent prices. They say that strawberries have gone down in price as well. Prior to this, the strawberries were from Greece, a few other countries like that, I mean warmer countries. The first harvest from the south of Belarus is coming out, Minsk area, including others, and we'll see how much that has helped to keep the prices down and the inflation down a little bit. Generally, as you may know already, agriculturalists in the region are a little bit troubled by the unprecedented cold weather and the nighttime frost in early May. Pretty ugly weather conditions are not helping to get a rich harvest of crops and berries and fruits, so the market isn't going to be very generous this year. But we'll see how that works and how imports is going to help with that. Since the Soviet times, the government was building sanatoriums or spa resorts around Minsk and other places, especially in the north, where we have loads of lakes. Some are based on mineral waters, some have healing muds, some have other treatments that they specialize in. This year they claim to be basically fully booked, and the Russians may or may not be the major audience of our sanatoriums. Please share your experience if you have been to any local treatment place. Did you like it? Did you like the service? Was the price tag justifying the stay? Because often critics of such treatment spots are pointing that the price tag equals to that of the Turkish hotels. Turkey offers an authentic sea, and whether or not this could outbalance the merits of the local treatment spots, it's a philosophical argument, I guess. Please share your opinion if you have stayed in such sanatorium places. Belarusian oil authorities are claiming to be increasing oil drilling, the output of oil production. The companies claim to have replaced Western drilling equipment, which is kind of surprising and interesting. And they claim to be setting records in getting more oil per year compared to the previous years. In any case, that's going to be interesting, especially if the oil prices go up at some point. Well, they may never go up, they may go down. Nobody knows really what's happening, and nobody really knows what's happening to the US dollar rate. A bit of a bright update to conclude this clip. The national air carrier Belarus is offering discounts to go to Dubai and back. They seem to have $300 round-way offers till the end of the month. It's just a week left, I guess. And if you cannot buy a deal with them directly, they are not going to explain how you can do that, but we have discovered that these two companies, at least, unfortunately it's neither a commercial, are offering deals to fly to Belarus and back, and you can buy those tickets with your international card. Let's go to the market and see the food prices. Thank you for staying with the channel. Well, this was about it. The weather is warming up and hopefully you'll be traveling to Belarus at some point this year. Our company will be happy to offer you visa support and immigration assistance if you wish to relocate. Remember, there are no unsolvable issues, and if there is a case, there is a solution. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. The donation links are down below, and hope to see you in Minsk at some point. Cheers!